Hello and welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll be on the Empowered Woman channel. So welcome, whether it's the podcast or the YouTube channel, we want to welcome you to today's recording. Let me use that word. And with me again today is Michelle Mras, my mentor. The last time she was on with me, we talked about a part 2, and today is the part 2. So she's going to be speaking to us again today. Let me introduce myself. I am your host, Pastor Dapoli PD, and it is my pleasure to have you join me again today. It promises to be an exciting time, and I'm hoping that today's session will bless you the same way the last one did. So I sent the podcast version of it to a few people, and everyone was, honestly raving about it. So thank you, Michelle. And again, welcome. We're glad you're joining us again today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm glad you could join us again. Today, I want to start by wishing, because in a few days we will be celebrating Mother's Day. And I want us to start by wishing the moms out there, whether they're single moms, whether they're married, whether they're grandmas, widowed, whatever state they're in, as long as they're women, I would like for us to wish them a happy Mother's Day. Now, to do that, I'd like you, Michelle, to share with them just one word, because we're in an unprecedented time. It's nothing that any of us has seen before. So we need a word to hold on to, be it a word from the scripture, be it a word from your heart, whatever is laid upon your heart to share, please go ahead.
Strength.
Strength, wow.
Well, the reason why I say Happy Mother's Day and the
Happy
word
Mother's Day.
for Mother's Day is strength is because strength comes in so many different forms. And when we think strength, we think muscles and lifting. And honestly, I see strength from a woman's perspective. It's far more powerful. It's the strength of love. It's the strength of devotion. It's the strength of being able to dance in the rain and see the beauty in it when things are bad. And so I would say the word is strength.
Strength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you tell me more and kind of like elaborate more on that strength? Because you just talked about the strength of love, dancing in the rain and having a good time. When I was a little kid, we did that, but I don't know if I can do that as an adult now.
Why not? I do it all the time.
Okay.
Whenever it rains, yeah. Well, the reason I say strength is such a powerful word for Mother's Day, especially now,
Yes.
is because there's a strength of spirit, there's a strength of mind, there's a strength of body, and there's a strength of, of essence. And right now, as mothers, I mean, if you have one child to 20 children, if you are a grandmother, I mean, or if you only have furry children, okay, whatever it is, whatever mothering care that you are level at, it requires strength. Because in that strength, you also find patience. And within that patience, so think about strength as a whole. It is back to that whole thing we were talking about with the filling your pitcher.
Yes.
Pitcher cannot be fragile, okay? A pitcher must be strong
in
order to handle more, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to fill the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So for Mother's Day, I say strength. Strength because that's what we need to give, and that's what we need to be able to take care of ourselves.
Okay.
That we can give. Strength is very, very important for all mothers.
For all mothers, for all women.
Yes.
Actually. And talking about strength, remember that we are created strong, made from bone. We talked about that the last time. We're made from bone, we're created strong. So I think for this Mother's Day, the word strength is ideal. It's a perfect word. Because in these times when we're all, again, still at home, still on lockdown, it takes strength to be able to deal with those many things that we're faced with on a daily basis. So some of us are working from home. Some of us are, homeschooling our kids. And you have to cook like you never did before. Now, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's no going out to Starbucks to pick up coffee on your way to work because your office is in the house. So your commute really is from your kitchen.
No, it's la bedroom to la kitchen to la to Sandy
Yes,
living room.
yes, yes, yes. That so people are falling into depression. People are losing their mental stability just because of everything that is going on. And so strength is a great word to share with women in this season. So for that woman out there who's dealing with all of this, we wish you a happy Mother's Day. And we also want to say, stay strong. Hold on. Hold on tight. Don't give up. Right,
Well,
right,
and
Michelle?
it's beyond being strong and holding on. Find strength in who you are. So instead of, looking at, I don't know, Instagram and Pinterest and comparing yourself to other people who say, everything's great, I'm doing great. Don't do that to yourself. Know your strength. Know where your power is. Because if you're looking at other people, you will get depressed. So that saddens me, that to think that people are in this lockdown and are losing control of who they are because of all the other stressors. So here's my guidance for all of you.
Mm,
If you find yourself in complete overwhelm, I
mm,
want you to pull back. I want you to find some time, even if you have to wake up earlier in the morning than you already do, just to get some quiet time. And I want you to write down a list. I want you to write down a list of all the things that you need to get done,
mhm,
all the things you feel you need to get done. And then I want you to put it down, walk away for a couple hours. I want you to come back, look at that list, and find out this. I want you to timeline it. Is what's really got to be done? Really? Do you have to scrub the floorboards? Do you have to, make sure that the kids, all of the drawers in their clothes are all perfect? Do you have, see what I mean?
do you
We
have
like
to?
to overdo so much because we think we need to be the ideal and perfect mother. Or we think because we're not the ideal and perfect mother, we put more pressure on ourselves. Or we think we are the perfect mother and therefore we can't do anything wrong. Give yourself a break. Stop this madness. You are not the other mom. You are not the other woman. You are you.
Yes,
You do you as you. And so you look at that list and do, is this truly
truly.
a priority? Must it happen today? And the reason I say that is because I think I might have told you, I'm a military spouse.
Mhm,
My husband used to fly and was always gone. And so I was always alone with my children.
mm,
And we were in foreign countries. So I really kind of didn't go a lot. I didn't go out a lot because I
mhm.
didn't speak the language for a very
So
large.
for you, this lockdown is not really a big deal because you're
No,
used to staying home.
it's happened before. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happened. And so my thing is I had to stop looking at other people doing, wow, look at them. Her kids all have matching clothes and she made all of their clothes.
Oh,
I can't
wow.
even sew, and I would just, my big thing was we would go to the park and we'd sit there.
Mm, mm,
Or I
mm.
would give them butcher paper and we would draw with water. I mean, so it was such simple things. And so I thought, well, maybe I'm not good enough because I'm not homeschooling them the way the other ladies were doing it, and
Ah,
I wasn't teaching them Arabic. I mean, I wasn't doing that kind of stuff, and I thought I'm not good enough. And
wow.
what I realized as I got older was I don't know Arabic. Why would I teach my children? There was silly things like that where I was comparing so much, and I stopped and went, you know what? My children are happy being with me. And as long as I stop putting this bar so high up that I'm causing myself anxiety, well,
Mhm.
children are very perceptive. You
Very.
cause them anxiety. When a child has anxiety, they act up. When they act up, they make us crazy. So
True.
basically, I was causing what was driving me crazy because I was so anxious
Ah.
about how good I was or not. So when I would make them dinner, I would make sure that every food group was on. It was so pretty and it was so right. Kids didn't care. They didn't. And so look at your list. How important really is it? Is it for you or are you trying to impress someone else?
Mm,
Your child does not care how beautiful the food is, okay? They would be perfectly happy with whatever you put in front of them. Matter of
true.
fact, if you put broccoli, they'd be even happier, more than likely. So the thing is be kind to yourself.
Mm.
Happy Mother's Day. Your biggest gift is to love you as you are. Stop comparing yourself to other people and do the best version of you.
Amen. Which brings me to something that I love to talk about, Michelle. Um, so I've been writing poems lately, about the woman. The Spirit of God has been giving me those, and I've been putting it on paper. And one of the poems talks about the creativity of God in the woman. Every woman is crafted like a cake. Because I bake cakes, and I actually just baked one this morning. I decorated it this morning. I baked it last night, and then this morning, within 45 minutes, I was done decorating the cake. And it reminded me, that, hey, Michelle and I are going to be meeting today. We'll be talking about cake. Every woman is crafted carefully and delicately like a cake. Okay? Every cake is different. No two cakes are the same. If you go to the store and you buy chocolate cake, there's German chocolate, there's triple chocolate, there's all kinds of chocolate cake, but it's all chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Each one is different. They may have been baked from the same packet. They all have the same ingredients, maybe, but each one is carefully crafted, especially when it comes to the part where you decorate the cakes. So that's why no two women have the same shape. No two women are the same height, because every woman is crafted differently. So I'm going to ask you this. I love to ask people this. Even when I interviewed one of my friends who's a pastor, he's Nick Yaksich, I asked him what kind of cake his wife was. And he said, oh, my wife is a very chantilly cake. So tell me, I know, tell me, what kind of cake are you, Michelle? Because I'd like every woman on this Mother's Day to identify with what kind of cake they are and why. Because that's going to help every one of us. So when I know that, well, I'm a dapple cake, for example. When I took so there's tests online that you can take to find out what kind of cake you are. Mine was carrot cake, but I'm like, no, I love carrot cakes, by the way. But I'm a dapple cake. I have my recipe is different. I came up with my own recipe by the leading of the Holy Spirit. So tell us, and tell every woman out there, what kind of cake you are, Michelle. Okay. And maybe it will help other women to find out what kind of cakes they are, because they're all delicately made by the Creator himself. He wove us specially with those mighty hands of his. All right, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, you're gonna giggle because probably no one's ever said this to you. I am a hummingbird cake.
Oh, wow. Never had that.
So a hummingbird, I just looked up the ingredients so I can tell you, because I know what it is, but it's so elaborate. So when you look at a hummingbird cake, it looks like a plain, simple vanilla cake with like a whipped, Cool Whip kind of frosting. Okay. From the outside, it looks like a very delicate, very elite cake. And the frosting is not very sweet. It's just right.
Just right.
Cool Whip, it's very light. Okay. But the inside of the cake is where the magic is.
Wow.
Because the inside of the cake, it's a banana pineapple spice cake.
Oh, wow. Banana pineapple spiced cake.
It is so good.
To find that recipe.
Oh, yeah, you do. Bananas in it, pineapple, there's cinnamon, there's little pieces of apple. Sometimes there'll be little pieces of like sunflower seeds and pecans. So when you bite into it, you get this spicy flavor, and then you discover all these other little bits of other things. So I am a hummingbird cake. I am not what I appear to be. I am much more than what you see on the outside. And so when people look at me, they say, oh, Michelle, she's got her life together and she's so comfortable with who she is. And then when you get into the inside of me, you realize a lot makes up Michelle Mras.
There's a lot on the inside of you. I can testify to that, Michelle. There's so much more on the inside of you.
So many ingredients and from broken pieces. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. So many of us degrade ourselves because we've been broken in some way in our past, or, we lost a child, or someone abandoned us, or we're alone, we're divorced, or, whatever it is. We assemble, we judge ourselves on the broken pieces.
Wow.
What I have done as claiming a hummingbird cake is that I embrace all of those broken pieces. I embrace every fragment that's ever been part of my life. And that's why that hummingbird cake is so important to me, because think of all the teeny tiny ingredients that are in there that normally apart are okay, but together they make something incredibly special that not many people have had.
True. I've been baking now for 26 years.
You ever heard of hummingbird cake?
Never heard of it.
It's my
So
favorite cake.
I promise you, I'm going to find that recipe and I'm going to make it and I'll tell you what I think.
Oh, if you make it, you're calling me and leave it on.
I'll leave it on the pot.
I don't know how to make it, but it's like the origin is like I want to say it's the origins in Jamaica. So
Okay.
and I remember that's how I think I found it. I think I found it the first time when I was in New Orleans with my family, because my
Okay.
father is from New Orleans, and
Okay.
that's where it came. Hummingbird cake,
Okay.
please.
I will let you know. I promise.
Okay.
So now you talked about the broken pieces. So I'm imagining what's on the inside of the cake. Tiny pieces of apples, right?
Tiny
Uh,
apples, bananas, and
Bananas, pineapples. They probably
nuts.
used crushed pineapples.
Yes.
Um, Broken pieces. What comes to mind at this point, Michelle, is something I found on the internet one day. It was like I wouldn't call it a painting, but something that a little boy had put together. Or maybe, I don't know, I don't remember very well. But it said, broken crayons, still color.
Yes.
And it stuck with me ever since. You know, as broken as we may be, it doesn't remove from the fact that we have been empowered by God Himself. What He put on the inside of us stays intact, even when we're broken. Okay? There's many women who've been through different kinds of situations. What caused my brokenness is different than what caused your brokenness, than what caused Sheila's brokenness. People who've been in abusive relationships, for example, would deal with being broken different than someone who was raped when they were young. Okay. Now, if broken crayons still color, what would you say to that broken woman so she can rise up and be empowered? Because honestly, that's what God called us to be empowered women. He already put that strength on the inside of us. That's why when Adam saw that first woman, he was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with her? She's coming to me with all of this strength. She was made from bone. I don't know how to handle bone. Maybe that's why, and we're not talking women's lead when we talk about the empowered woman. No, we are not saying women should be disrespectful. Women should be, the boss in the home. What we're saying is that there is a role for that woman to play in that home. When you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, oh my goodness, she held the pieces together. All that guy did was sit at the gates. He was like, maybe he was like a senator or something, but he did business. He was in the marketplace, but she kept the home front going.
We are the
So
glue.
we are the glue that keeps, and I'm going to talk to you about what Harriet Beecher Stowe said. She said, women are the real architect, but we'll come to that. Let's talk about these broken crayons.
Okay.
That go around still carrying that brokenness. In this time when we're celebrating women and wishing everyone happy Mother's Day, how should they proceed? Let's put it that way.
As a broken crayon?
Yes, as a broken crayon.
Well, and it's funny because I usually use the analogy of a broken glass.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I said it, because I like the analogy of the pitcher and the glasses and filling, right?
Yes.
And so each of us, we're not all clear glasses. We're, brown glasses, purple glasses, green glasses, pink glasses, whatever. We are different vessels that carry water and love, okay?
Yes.
And so I'm going to switch to the crayon, but we can still use this analogy.
Yes, we can.
We're all a different glass and we are broken, okay? We think that we can't help anyone anymore, and we keep trying to fill our glass with the broken pieces. It's our job as empowered women to mend ourselves back. Now, the properties of glass, right?
Yeah.
Glass is a liquid state before it turns solid. Okay? Yeah. That's how they shape it. That's how we're built. When we become so rigid in our lives that when something hits us, mishap, a rape, a divorce, whatever it may be, and we break, Are we malleable enough to stick back together again? Now, here's how you do it. If there's a broken glass, right? What do you think? What are those called? Murals? Stained glass windows are?
Yes. Oh, yes. They're broken pieces.
They're
Yes.
broken pieces of
Yes.
glass.
I was
And
looking at one this morning that my girlfriend gave me. It's on my door.
when we see that, what do we think?
We think beauty.
So beautiful. It would not be the same if it was not broken.
Ah,
The thing is what happens as humans and on this planet, God gives us this beautiful glass. Yes, we are a beautiful vessel.
yes.
But the part that makes us more beautiful is the brokenness. And so what the magic of this, and that's why I love the glass analogy, is because we are supposed to break so that the real beauty comes through. When you are not a broken piece of glass, the light shines through and yeah, it's pretty. But once we're broken, what happens? It sparkles, right? It shines. There's a special thing about broken glasses. So as women and empowered women who have been broken,
Yes.
I beg you, okay? I beg you to find your beauty in your brokenness, because if it wasn't for the brokenness, you would not shine as special as you are. You would look like all the other glasses. The thing is no glass ever breaks the same way each time. You will never see a line of glasses that break and look exactly the same. We are not the same. We are broken special in God's design. And so look at your fingerprint. No one has your fingerprint.
No two are the same.
And no one has your brokenness. And only you can claim that as the
God.
beauty that you can grow from.
That is powerful.
And be special as your broken glass.
Be special as your broken glass.
Yeah.
Find beauty in your brokenness. That's going to be the title of this one.
Okay.
Find beauty in your brokenness.
Because then, we all get hung up on how we're broken. But I mean, I remember when I was younger and I was so broken, and then I had children. I'm like, oh, I'm breaking them too. And now I look at them as adults and me, and I didn't break them, but their beautiful glass became part of my mosaic. We are beautiful together. I love the glass analogy. Amen. So if you're a broken crayon, remember, wax melts and it can be something completely different.
Remolded.
It can be remolded. And what's the thing is both glass and wax, what does it take to have them shift to a new thing? They must go under heat. They must experience heat. So what is the heat and the pain in life? More trials. So do not look at trials and do, oh, this is terrible. Or like this pandemic, this is terrible. No, this is the heat that you need to meld and grow into something else that is far more beautiful than you are today.
Gold is purified by fire.
Yes. Silver is purified by fire. Everything that we cherish on this planet is purified by fire. God purified the earth, right? He washed us all up, right? Yeah. There's a cleansing. And we're part of our beauty.
I've never seen it that way. So thank you for sharing that. I like the analogy of the glass now. So every time I see that stained glass, I'm going to be thinking, I need to be beautiful like that and not just, wallow in my self-beauty. Embrace the brokenness. Find beauty in your brokenness. Find beauty in your brokenness. And for you who's listening, this is really for you. You need to find beauty in your brokenness. We've all been broken at some point or the other. I have my own story of brokenness, which is one of the reasons I am out here trying to get women to be who God has called them to be. So find beauty in your brokenness. Broken crayons still color. Broken glasses can make mosaics. So don't give up on yourself. Embrace your brokenness and move on. Amen. So something else I wanted to talk to you about. Oh my God, this is going so good. I feel like we might have to do a part 3, but we'll see. We'll see where we go with that. So Harriet Beecher Stowe was an American abolitionist. She died in 1896. She was famous for Uncle Tom's Cabin. I haven't read it, but I might need to find it and read it. But she said something that's very profound. And I started to think to myself, as far back as 1896, this woman is saying this, and we in this generation, we're not even thinking this way. She said, women are the real architect of society. So, Michelle, I'm going to ask you, how so?
Oh, we've been talking about it already.
We have been, I know. But we probably need to elaborate more on this, because a lot of women, we're talking about brokenness. Because of this brokenness, we fail to realize who we are. We don't look inward. We don't look at the strength that has been deposited on the inside of us, and we don't tap from that strength. We don't look at God the Father and say, Lord, help me in my brokenness. Help me, the heat is melting me. Help me to be refined even through this. We forget that, and we just stay where we are. But in what different ways? When I think of how God made the woman, the goal was to be a blessing, help the man. Because there were so many things the man couldn't do by himself. And there's still so many things that the man cannot do by himself, even in today's world. I don't believe that what a man can do, a woman can do better. No. We have different roles.
We have
That's
different
why, yes, that's why I talk about the Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, she knew her role and she stayed in it. How are we the real architects of society? In a society where women are sometimes, not always, sometimes relegated to the background.
Mm-hmm.
How do we...
Remember, we are the support. That's how we were created. I don't see... I have a translation. When I think of the woman being the support to the man, I hear mankind. So that's where I come from. So I believe it's not just the man we are with, it is all of mankind. And the reason I say that, and you're going to do, wow, Michelle, that's really deep. But I say that because when I go and I talk to, I used to speak a lot at women's shelters and abuse centers and things of that, because that's my background. And one of the things I always tell women is, we are the make or break of society. We are the trainers of the future monsters, molesters, rapists, strong women. And they're like, what are you talking about, you crazy lady? You're supposed to be here uplifting us. And it's up to us as women, who we allow to do what they want to do with us. Teaches our sons that they can treat women with no respect at all. If your daughter is watching you being abused or molested, or bowing down to some man who disrespects you completely, you're teaching your daughter that it's okay to be that way. I said, so we are the foundation of this mankind. We aren't just for one man. We are mankind's backbone. We teach our children by example. What we accept and do not accept is the example for the next generation. We can make or break society. If we would just stand up and say, we are women, we are empowered women, I give you respect, I love God. And what world would it be if we really stepped into the power we truly have? The world would be a better place, because our children wouldn't grow up expecting negative things to be acceptable.
And it would be a case of empowered women raising empowered children. Exactly. Strong women raising strong children.
Yes.
I believe, on top of what we're talking about now, we birthed the world pretty much.
We are,
yes.
We are the caregivers of mankind.
So if we bring forth, we carry the pregnancy for 9-10 months, and we bring forth, that's architecture right there. We just created something by the help of God and, a man, but we birth a life. Okay.
We are the bone. We are the stronger structure that's supposed to be there to hold it all up. You think we can't be a building of just bones, okay? We do need the mud to make the rest of the structure. So we need the man.
We do. So we need each other.
Yeah.
No
so
doubt
I'm not
about
saying
it.
one is better than the other, but what I'm saying is we're the ones who are with the children. So even if you don't have children, it's by nature, children watch women to what we accept and don't accept.
Yes.
So honestly, in my book, even if you haven't birthed a child, you are a mother. Okay, you haven't, maybe if you haven't directly had a child, by our simple nature of being a woman, we care like a mother no matter what
Yes,
we
we
are
do.
in.
Mhm.
And that's that mankind thing I keep bringing back in. We bring a sense of community into whatever we bring. It's part of women's nature. And so we are structure. We are what can make or break the entire society, because we have a different type of heart that is required to bring everyone up to the next level. We are broken faster than most men, right?
Yeah,
Most
true.
women are broken.
Yeah.
And it's because I
But we
think
find beauty in that brokenness.
we're
Remember that.
supposed to
Yes.
do that. Well, and I think we're broken so that we can be stronger. I mean, honestly, think of this again. Okay, back to the glass,
Yes. Yes.
broken
Yes.
glass. If you had a regular glass that was never broken,
Mm-hmm.
which one's stronger? A glass that's never been broken, or a mosaic that's been smelded back together again?
The mosaic, because the mosaic comes out thicker. When you look at those, they are thicker than the regular glass because
Yes,
they've been melted and colors been added. Talking about color being added in if you find beauty in your brokenness.
So why are we stronger when we're broken? Why are we required as women to, pretty every woman I've ever met has been broken in some way.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the design. We break so that we can be stronger, so we can hold more, so we can develop more, and we can help mankind by helping our children realize what's next.
What's next?
Okay, sorry.
So this is really good for Mother's Day because
women are amazing.
We are amazing. I've described it this way, and I'm going to ask forgiveness of the men because my goal is not to be offensive.
Oh, we're not offensive. So we love you too.
So for me, the man is like the front teeth, but the woman is the molars behind. She keeps everything going. She's the rock. She's chewing. But we find, again, going back to the brokenness, Harriet Beecher, she died in 1896. She already said women are the real architects of society. But we find that because we have been broken, we stay there, we remain in that space, and we don't move to the next level. We don't move to what is next. So my question to you, Michelle, right now, the pandemic has slowed down the whole world. Everyone is perplexed. But what next? I was listening to one of our sisters in church share on Wednesday. We had Bible study via Zoom, and she said, "Fight the good fight of faith." That this is not a time to fear. She talked about, she's a nurse. She talked about at her place of work. She works in a clinic, and they were going to move them to the hospital, and some people quit their jobs because of fear, and I understand that fear. Because they probably have been through something in the past that reminded them of, and they didn't want to go down that rabbit trail. They didn't want to go that route. So they're like, no, rather than me be broken a second time, let me just walk out now. But for the woman who is truly empowered, right? She's supposed to find beauty in her brokenness and move to what is next. So Michelle, what is next? We're talking to women, empowered women. This is the Empowered Woman channel, or if you're listening on Anchor or Google, it's the Empowered Woman podcast. What is next?
What's next for you is not next for me. And so here's the thing. When people live from the place of fear, you've let go of all power. You have no control.
I love that.
Here's
That's powerful.
We don't fear the unknown. We fear what we think we know of the unknown. How many times have you been afraid of doing something, you actually did it, and then went, you know what, it wasn't so bad? How many times, mothers who have given birth, We are terrified of giving birth. Oh my gosh, there's going to be something that comes out of me. I don't want to do this. Is there any way we can stop this? And then afterwards we do, I'll have another baby. That wasn't so bad.
I know, right? It wasn't so bad.
We were fearing what we didn't know of the unknown. So think of this pandemic, of everything that's happening right now. We don't know what's next.
We don't.
And what we're doing is we're projecting of what we think might happen next. We may be all wrong. What if this was just God saying, I want you to pay attention. This is my world that I built for you. Pay attention. And he's going to plug us back in, and we don't know what'll be next. So stop fearing what's going to might possibly, whatever you're thinking, and trust that God did this for a reason, and that there was something good that was supposed to come from it. And your job is to figure out what it is for you. This is a very private thing. God doesn't ever just blanket everything and say, okay, all of you, I'm doing this. No, it doesn't happen that way.
No, it doesn't.
And he said he would never do it that way ever again. So he's not going to punish us in one big blow like that again. So what is this? This is not a punishment. This is a lesson. What is it for you?
Yes.
It won't be the same as your neighbor. It will not be the same as your friend, not your mother, your sister, anybody.
And I absolutely agree with you, Michelle, because God deals with us as individuals.
Yeah. This is not a giant.
This is why we have one-on-one relationship with him. And the Bible tells me that as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. They are I'm going to add daughters because we're talking to women here. Yeah, now, what is next should be rest in him.
Yes, because I'm telling you, he's telling you already. You're just not listening. You have to get quiet. He's talking to you. His angels are talking to you. Someone is talking to you. You got to listen. Feel it in your gut. What is your spirit telling you is the next move? And if you're afraid, that's probably it. Yes. If you're afraid of whatever,
jump anyway.
Jump.
Do it. That was one of the first things I learned when I joined John Maxwell team.
Jump, grow wings on the way.
Yes, just do it anyway. Do it afraid. It doesn't matter what it is. Do it afraid. As long as you're persuaded that this is what is next for me. So whilst we cannot say this is what is next and give a prescription, what we're saying in essence is let's all sit back and rest in him and hear from him. Listen to your spirit. If you have a relationship with God and the Spirit of God is on the inside of you, he will speak to you and he'll show you which way to go. He'll lead you in the way to go.
Well, and one of my clients is a good example of this.
Okay.
She was asking me, what's next? I mean, I can't work in my job and I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And I said, get quiet. I want you to just quiet. What's the first thing that's coming in your mind? What leaps out? She says, I want to be a nurse. And I said, you want to be a nurse? She says, I said, I want to be a nurse. I said, you said that out loud. And she says, that's really weird because I saw a class online that I could be taking and I could be. It's that subtle. She got her
be still and know that I am God. That is what is next. Be still and know that he is God. Nobody can give a prescription at this time because these are unprecedented times like we've talked about. A lot of people have been broken.
Guess what God is doing next. So just trust that whatever it is.
Trust and obey. For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Michelle. We have to stop.
Oh, no.
I wish we could go on and on and on and on, but we have to stop. Again, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you and talking about finding beauty in your brokenness is the one thing that I am taking away from this. And I'm hoping that the empowered woman or any woman who's listening to me will take something from this. For me, it's finding beauty in my brokenness. I have been through a journey of brokenness myself. I didn't get here today. I mean, I didn't get here overnight. It's been a journey.
None of us have.
You know, the one thing is empowered women, empower women, empowered women, empower women. And that's what Michelle and I are doing. That's what we're hoping to be able to do to help make a shift and help make a change in your situation. So have a wonderful Mother's Day. Enjoy your day. I know we can't go out to restaurants. We can, our families can still treat us. I saw a clip the other day of a lady that turned 60 and she wanted to celebrate her birthday, but she's on lockdown. So what she did was ask all of her friends to dress up
Mm-hmm.
and join her for the party. And they had a virtual party. There was food. I'm like, my next birthday should probably be Zoom. Everybody bring your food, bring your own food, so I don't have to cook.
I
But
think I think we should all do it for Mother's Day. Get a gigantic Mother's Day Zoom call, and all the
okay,
mothers come together with their special whatever our favorite food is, and we'll be dressed up, and we'll all have a meal together and be a happy
that
Mother's Day
that
together.
would be awesome. I'm gonna suggest it to a few of my friends and see if we can pull that up. But we have to find a way to celebrate ourselves. Like you said, be you. Don't try to be someone else. A lot of women fall into the trap of comparison. No, no, no. This is the time. Maybe that is what is next for you, to stop comparing yourself with someone else and
Yeah.
say, hey, this is me. This is who I am. I am empowered by God Himself. I have the Spirit of God on the inside of me. And I'm hoping that this Mother's Day would be a turnaround point in your life and you will truly step into what it means to be the empowered woman. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, our viewers, our listeners, for joining us. We will be back with you shortly. Have a happy, happy, happy Mother's Day. Thank you.